Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for organizing this hearing. We need to make crime illegal again. And I'm encouraged by the comments of the ranking member, which made reference to these flash mobs and the smash and grabs, which shows there's a bipartisan interest in doing just that. I'm from California, the state where this decriminalization agenda is perhaps in its most advanced stage. And to see the perils of it, you need look no further than what's going on in San Francisco as we speak. Just yesterday, Mr. Chair, Westfield Mall, the famous Westfield Mall in downtown San Francisco, announced it's surrendering the property to its lender, citing the difficult operating conditions downtown. Almost every day, we're learning of new businesses that are closing in San Francisco. In just the last few weeks, that includes T-Mobile, Old Navy, Nordstrom, Whole Foods, Anthropologie, and many more. The population is dramatically declining in the city as well. In fact, it's declining faster than any major U.S. City in United States history, faster even than Detroit when it went bankrupt. If you walk around parts of San Francisco, the conditions are truly horrifying. It's utter lawlessness. The subway system, public transportation is on the verge of collapse because of many reasons, one of which is people simply don't feel safe riding. And indeed, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has even said he is sending the National Guard into San Francisco to restore order. Now, that seems to be a stunt because we haven't seen much action yet, but even he recognizes the situation and how dire it is. And CNN just did an hour-long special titled, "What Happened to San Francisco?" And so to answer that question, what happened, I think we can look at a few things. Number one is the laws that have been passed. Number two is the approach to law enforcement. And number three is the role of prosecutors. On the first count, when it comes to the laws, the chair mentioned Prop 47, which is one of many laws that have been passed in California that have in very ill-calculated ways lowered criminal penalties. This initiative passed in 2014, and yes, it was approved by California voters, but they were misled as to what they were voting for. This initiative was titled by its supporters the, quote, Safe Neighborhood and Schools Act. And it lowered the threshold for a felony to over $950. And so you see people who just again and again and again go and steal below that threshold, and there's no consequence, and the retailers don't even report what's happening. And now, as the chair mentioned, there's even legislation to stop the stores from trying to stop this from happening. And to the point that one of the witnesses, Mr. Milser, made, which is that these policies are not truly progressive in any meaningful sense of the word. One of the other things that Prop 47 did is that it took away penalties for drug possession, which basically eviscerated the drug court system in California because prosecutors no longer had leverage to encourage offenders to go into drug treatment. And so that's the perverse irony, is that laws like Prop 47 have both eroded public safety and compromised the capacity of our criminal justice system to rehabilitate offenders. There have been many other laws along these lines. Prop 57 passed. That used another trick, which is to classify offenses as non-violent, even though they're often quite violent, and then they tell people that's what they're voting for when obviously it's something much different. You've had this governor and his predecessor have released tens of thousands of people early under the banner of executive authority. You had what was known as realignment, where prison populations were shifted into county jails, which aren't built to deal with those sorts of offenders, and the list goes on and on and on. And then at the same time, you had jurisdictions like San Francisco that chose to defund police departments. Now, a lot of that has been reversed now because they realized what a disaster it was, but the damage has been done in a lot of ways, and you still have police departments throughout California that are having a very, very difficult time with recruitment and continue to be understaffed because of this anti-law enforcement message that came from some of our state's leading politicians. And then finally, you had in places like San Francisco and Los Angeles these so-called, I'll adopt that terminology, progressive prosecutors, the really political prosecutors who came in with an agenda and refused to even enforce the laws that were there. But here's the big takeaway from all of this, which is that this decriminalization agenda is massively unpopular in California. The district attorney of San Francisco was overwhelmingly recalled from office. By the way, the Trump-Pence ticket got 12% in San Francisco. This isn't some conservative bastion. You've had dozens of city councils have issued votes of no confidence against George Gascon in Los Angeles, and California voters overwhelmingly say crime is a major problem, and at this point they favor repealing Prop 47 by 2-1. So I thank the chair for this opportunity to issue this warning to other jurisdictions not to follow the California example and to marshal whatever federal support we can to make up for the reckless policies of our state's politicians. Thank you, and I yield back.